Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dutchies in Ghana, where we visit people from the Netherlands who also live in Ghana. And today's guest is Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much for inviting us into your home.
Yes, thank you for coming all the way here.
Yes. So what brings you to Ghana?
So I came to Ghana for the first time 8 years ago when I was 17. I did like a gap year after my high school. Because I wasn't like selected for the bachelor I wanted to do, and I really wanted to do that bachelor, so I chose to take a gap year and I worked in a store. And then I was like, okay, now I have quite a lot of money for a 17-year-old and I have some time left and I really wanted to volunteer in Africa. That's how I came here for 2 months.
So then how does somebody apply to volunteer? Are there like agents in the Netherlands who help you, or how does that go?
Yes, like indeed there's like agents in the Netherlands. There's like different kind of volunteer, like like right now I really learned from my experience and I would never do it like this again, like ever, and I wouldn't advise people, like especially young people, to do the same thing again, like what I did. But yeah, it's actually very easy, and that's what makes it very dangerous because, well, I was just 17. I only had my high school graduation. I didn't have any educational background, no bachelor, no university or whatever. And it's too easy. You just go to one of these websites, you do the application form, you can choose which country you want to do and which project you want to do.
Okay.
They will ask you a couple of questions, but it's not really, they are testing, like, are you made to do this? Like, do you have like mental capacity? They didn't train me, like by now, because of the criticism that has been around, like, which is like very good in my opinion.
The criticism, you mean that people come and volunteer, take pictures with these poor African babies? Okay.
Yeah, like exactly what you were saying. Like maybe by now I know all these agencies, they have to do training day, they have to do like maybe some personality test or something.
Okay.
But
don't you have to get like a VOG, verklaring voor goed gedrag? I don't know how to say that in English. So basically they test if you have any criminal background.
Yes, like a criminal report.
Yeah. Right? You didn't have to do it back then?
No.
Wow. So that is why you said it's dangerous.
Yes.
Or did you mean it was dangerous for you?
No, I don't think it was dangerous for me at all.
Yeah, just
no,
that they just
it's dangerous, like the thing I did, because it was so easy.
Yeah.
So I worked at a children's home with very vulnerable children, and it was also a private school, and I only stayed for 2 months. And from all the people I've been seeing at this project, these 2 months, I was the one who stayed the longest.
Yeah.
Only 2 months. And you know, all these children, they see these mainly white volunteers coming and going. They bring candy, they bring clothes, they bring toys, they bring money, they bring empty promises.
Yeah.
Because you know, like after time, especially when the children are a little bit older, they learn, oh, maybe somebody can get me in school. So, and then all these volunteers are like, yeah, I'm going home, I will get you some money, I will get you in school. But they don't realize, first of all, sometimes school can be very expensive here. And second of all, you cannot get a student in school and then the next year you don't follow up, or maybe your money is finished, and then what? You're gonna tell the child, sorry, my money is finished.
Yeah.
You have to get out of school again.
So they come with a lot of empty promises.
Yes, and also what you said, like the pictures as well. Like you must know, like all these pictures of especially again white people in the middle of a school class of people they don't even know their names of. Like if you go on Instagram right like now, there's like captions that you're like, wow, like how dare you writing this about a country that is so welcoming to you. And that's also what they write. Sometimes they write, oh, Ghanaians are so nice to me, so friendly. They invite me to their homes. We can eat with them. And at the same time, about these same Ghanaians, they say things like, oh, they all trash their streets because they don't know trash bins, or they're not able to take care of their children because they look dirty. Like, how can you say this kind of stuff? And you're here for what, 1 or 2 months, but even the ones who stay longer. But what is also very dangerous, about these agencies is that they really feed on these thoughts. Like some are like connected to the government, but some are
Just
actually
private.
profitable businesses.
Okay.
But they put like slogans on their website, like you're gonna put a smile on people's faces. You're gonna be the change in the world. You know, like, and so you start to feel like, okay, I can do that. Like, I will feel important. I'm gonna make a difference. So that's like the mindset how you come here. I remember when I came the first time to Accra, we had like a tour around Accra, and I was like really like, oh wow, this is really different. Oh, poor people, blah. But we were only in Accra. But because they kind of sent me here with you're gonna help the poor, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, that savior mentality.
Yeah, it's like if they would have said, look, there's just like, that's what I'm trying to do in my communication on social media. There's just people living here. They might be richer than you are. They might be poorer than you are. They might be the same as your background or whatever, but because they really feed on, because basically they just want your money, that's, they just want you to go to the project so they get the project money, and obviously they're not all like that. It's just
too
a commercial. Yes. And
so when you came and you stayed for 2 months in this children's home, what did they do to you as a 17-year-old?
Like the children or the staff?
Just the experience being in a whole different country. And
well, it was amazing.
Okay.
Of course, like, of course it was, and it was like exactly how they sold the program.
Okay.
Like, and of course the children were happy as well. I brought like a lot of like jerseys from my sports club and balls, and you know, so that was really nice. And you know, like, the problem with this is not the experience on its own is not that bad, but it's like the whole system around it. Imagine you are living somewhere and every 2 months somebody else comes and spoils you with toys,
stuff,
and
they go.
Yes, and then they go again, and you know they are going. At some point, like at first you're like, wow, like, and also the smaller ones, they don't even know how long is 2 months, right? So for them it's like, oh, you're going already. Oh, you're never coming back, and you know, it's like the whole system, but the experience on its own was very nice for me. I mean, I was like out of Europe for the first time on my own for 2 months, like without my parents, really. Like in the weekends we went for trips to discover the country, and it was like really building like my confidence and my independence, and like, I don't know, even like financial budgeting or something. I had to do that on my own, right? I had to calculate, am I able to go on this trip or not? So like as an individual experience, I think it was really nice. And at that moment, of course, like every child, if you give them a balloon,
they're happy.
Who's gonna cry? I mean, at the moment itself is very nice, but if you look at the bigger picture, and
the kids don't learn how to attach to somebody.
Yes,
so they learn how
exactly.
to, that a person comes and goes, and there's no emotional.
Yes, and they are already like vulnerable because there is a reason why they are in a children's home.
So it was a little exploitation maybe to make sure that there are kids to entertain when people like you come.
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
I have to say, like, coming to this opinion and how I see it now and how I see my living in Ghana now, like, it took some years, of course. It's not like I went there and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I did something wrong by deciding this. Also, I was 17 years old, so you know. But already there, you will pick up some signals like, okay, there's something off here. You don't really know what. And also talking to the other volunteers who are there, and also like, you know, like later on Facebook and everything, you will find people who have been there before, and they also have like similar stories. But also one thing with the volunteer work is also, after all, you don't really feel satisfied actually, because the organization, or at least my organization, is like bringing you all these ideas, you're going to change the world, blah, 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 and then you come here and then it's like, well, I mean, I don't have to be here. I mean, these people are fine. Like, why do you make me feel like I should be like the hero, or I'm really going to change their lives? Well, they are fine. Like, what's the point of this? Like, at some point we really had to find ourselves tasks. Because they already had stuff for a lot of things, like, obviously. I mean, it's almost like just like a school where you have like a cleaner and where you have like teachers and a headmaster. And
so what would your advice be to somebody who might be like you, having a gap year and thinking, oh, I would love to experience Africa and maybe help in some type of way?
I think there are good volunteer projects where you are like assisting, because like me as coming from the West, obviously I have different ideas from somebody who's growing up here, and they are not necessarily better, but just different ideas. And it would be nice if there's like a group of people who will sit together and we all bring our ideas together, and then we get the best out of it, right? Yeah. Instead of me thinking, oh, I'm coming from the West, I had such a good education, I know what to do. So if you find like a project like that where you're really assisting and where you know if you are leaving, the project will continue. Yeah. So really like sit with yourself, like why do I really want to do this? Be very honest with yourself. Like as well for myself, sometimes I still go back to this, oh, I have to help these people or something, like kind of like where we grew up with in the West, that like the African continent is like nothing is there and they really need us because otherwise they are nothing or something, which we don't know. We don't need you. No, which is like the most ridiculous thing ever. Yeah. But if you are never exposed to that, then
have a different mindset.
Yes, if you only watch the news, for example, like there's so many great stuff happening in Ghana here. Did you ever see that in the news? Do you even see Ghana on the news?
No, you don't.
Yeah, because it's going too well here, right? Yeah. It's like, and just as every country, there's always like downside, like in the Netherlands as well. It's absolutely not all paradise, but I remember when I said as a 17 years old that I'm coming to Ghana, that people were telling me, oh, they are going to rape you. They are, I don't know, like all this kind of stuff. But it's coming from people who have been nowhere.
Yes, yeah. The same happened with us when we came, actually. Yes. They said that, no, maybe your kids will die from malaria. Don't go. It's so dangerous. And these are people who have never traveled.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So it's really exposure. Okay, so then Jennifer, 17-year-old, goes back to the Netherlands. Yes. What did you tell people when they said, oh, how was your experience in Ghana?
Well, I told them that it was really nice, because it was. 2-3 years after this experience, if somebody says, oh, I also want to do that, I would encourage them to do that, because that was like before I got to understand how I was part of the problem. Okay. So at first I would say, yeah, it's so amazing, and we went on trips, and we did like a lot of sports activities with the children. And like especially like telling people, well, it's also possible for you, which is also dangerous to say, because it is not possible for everybody. It is not for everybody to, at least at this age, come to another continent on your own and just experience that. I think you need some kind of a mindset already to like go with the flow. Like you really need to
be very open-minded.
Yes, and there are like a lot of stories from people who do not understand that people come late here, that people, I don't know, eat certain food, and instead of just accepting the fact or trying to find out why are you doing that, and it doesn't mean that you have to agree with that, but then at least you showed some respect, that like interest, like why are you doing this like this, and also why am I doing it like this. But it happens in a lot of situations that people are just like, oh, the people, they are always late because they are lazy. But you don't know, you didn't ask them. You didn't ask them, why is it that you are always late? Maybe there's a very good reason. Maybe we don't see that as a good reason, but there's also, we all have different values as well.
Yeah. After the 2 years, you had a good experience in a type of way, but now as you're older, you understand that it could have been done in a different way. So what did you do after the gap year? Did you go back to university or study?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so I did my bachelor's in sports management and business. Oh, nice. And then I came to back to Ghana every summer.
Why?
I had a boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
for almost 4.
Is it the same boyfriend?
No.
Oh, okay. So you came back to Ghana for love, basically.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
But
what did your parents think about that? You as a very Dutch girl coming back and say, oh, I found my love in Africa.
Well, I remember I found it very difficult to tell, because it was like a very cliche story, like me, young girl coming here, and then it happens. And it always, like you hear these stories a lot, because the ones who don't fall in love, they're not gonna put on their Instagram or their social media, I didn't fall in love, so it looks like
everybody
it happens, and it happens to a lot of people though.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did they what did they think? I think they just accepted it. Like probably it was like difficult for them as well. Maybe like not knowing how it would be for me in the future. Like already thinking. Well, I wasn't thinking about that, but maybe like
they
that.
were thinking, yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
So did they join you on summer vacations?
No, they have never been here.
Oh, they've never been here. Oh, okay.
No. And yeah,
Hopefully
maybe
we'll
like
come.
now I really live here. Like
Yeah.
at first it was always also a little bit like my experience
Okay.
and me finding out like about this country and who I am here maybe. And after some time I started coming during the school year. My mom is a teacher, so she can only come like in summer break, and I don't want to have them here for 1 week. That doesn't make sense.
Sure,
So if they
yeah.
come, they should come maybe 3 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
Because I have so many places they have to see by now.
Sure.
So in 1 week that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course like this situation happened, so they cannot
so
come.
you came for summertime, right? You came for summer vacations, like a lot of years when you were in school.
Yes.
And then when was your decision like, no, I'm packing my bags and moving to Ghana?
So so like August 2019 was when I finished my school.
Okay.
I actually left in September 2019, so there were like 3 weeks when I got this idea, and then I was like, okay.
Wow. So within 3 weeks,
Yes.
you packed all your belongings and left.
Well, actually, I don't have a lot of belongings. Like I
Okay.
have a backpack, and that's what I have.
Wow.
That's what I brought. I don't really like having like the first years when I came to Ghana, I brought a lot of clothes. I brought a lot of toffee, like a lot of like knekkenbrood, and you know, like
stuff that you would miss. Yeah.
I was like very biased that you don't have chips here, you don't have. Because, you know, during my volunteer work, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Because
you were outside of Accra, yeah.
Yes, and also they don't give you knekkenbrood or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's all about like where you end up in Ghana. That's what you think Ghana is.
Yeah.
Right? If you are from the beginning in Accra and you are always going to the fancy parties and the fancy hotels, then you think this is Accra.
Ghana, yeah.
But if you're like me, somewhere in the rural area, then you think this is Accra. My current boyfriend, he is Ghanaian and he is born and raised in Accra. So and he does all his projects, like his business here. So I knew I will move to Accra at some point to live together with him. But I also wanted to have like this outside of Accra experience because that's what I was used to. So for 3 months I worked there. I came back for Christmas to spend here in Accra, and then for 1 month. I went to Busia in the western region to do the same thing.
Oh, nice.
So I did the same thing. I made a website for them. I tried to help with like getting something on Instagram, like try to get them understand that it's important, and just overall like brainstorming, like how can we, I don't know, make some guest rules in a nice way without saying but just as a nice design and everything. So and both of where the guest houses, so I was there as a volunteer and then they gave me the room and the meals as an exchange, so it wasn't a paid job.
That's nice.
So just to have some more experience also in that field, and also because I was still like, when I come to Accra, and I knew like when you get like an apartment, it's for a year. Do I want to commit to for a year? Because maybe working at the guest house and maybe after 2 months I would be like, okay, this is like, I don't really like it. Then still there's not really a commitment. Also with a paid job, if you can always quit, but I mean, if I sign for a year, then I want to stay for a year, at least try, and not go home because I'm homesick. And I didn't know if I would be homesick.
That's
like as a child, I was
idea.
always very homesick, like very homesick, like even to grandparents.
Oh, wow.
So it's very surprising actually
That
that
you
I
can do
ended up,
this,
that I overcame this, and now
Yeah.
I'm here almost 2 years already.
Wow.
Yeah, and so after Busia, I was trying to find a job in Accra here, like a paid job. And then I had a job offer, and then Corona hit.
Yeah.
So then during lockdown, I went back to the guest house in Ashanti region.
Okay.
We didn't know what it was, obviously,
Yeah.
just like everybody else in the world. So I didn't know like how long would it take, and we were not in this apartment. Still, we didn't really have a garden or like a nice outside or something. So like my friends from the guest house, she asked me, do you want to stay with us? So I stayed there for 2.5 months with her, which was really nice. Which was like, she has like a very nice big compound, and we were just like having our own lockdown kind of thing. And then after 2.5 months, my boyfriend found this apartment, so I was like, okay, let me
Go back. Again.
But it was really difficult for me because, like, for 2.5 months, I only saw my friends. She has 2 children, and then some of her stuff. It was only like we barely. It's a small town.
You didn't really go out and see.
No,
people.
like at some point we started doing that.
Okay.
But especially like the first 6 weeks, it was like really only us. So yeah, at some point I was like, okay, really, at least let me go to town, which was like a 10 minutes walk, to see some other faces and not be like, wow, other people are scary. Like, and also in her town, in Ashanti region, small town called Banco, there wasn't even, I think as far as I remember, there wasn't even a case there, but still.
You because just scared. Yeah, media can scare you.
Yes, so it was like me coming back to Accra in the bus. I was like really nervous to take the bus because like in a bus everybody is a little packed. And then I came here, and for some time I was still scared a little bit. But yeah, then we started like my boyfriend started with this cafe.
What cafe does he have?
He used to have a bicycle cafe. He runs bike tours in Accra on Sundays. So you start in Osu and then you go to like all the landmarks.
You mean bicycle, right? Riding a bike.
Like the Dutch bicycle.
Yeah. Oh, very nice.
Just a note that he already did. This is actually how we met. I did his bike tour.
Okay.
And then we stayed in contact. And then when I came back, like the time before I moved to Ghana, that's how we like started dating,
that's so
kind
nice.
of thing.
I thought that because you're Dutch, that's why he does the bike thing.
No, he already did
very
it.
Nice.
Yes,
very
no, a
nice.
lot of like when people ask me, oh, what does your boyfriend do? I'm like, I just told you I'm Dutch. Now I have to tell you my boyfriend has a bike tour company.
Oh, but very
and
nice.
People
and please explain why we can only do that on Sundays.
Yeah, so he only does it on Sundays because the traffic is less on Sundays. A lot of people go to church. You are also going around Makola Market, which is the biggest open air market in Accra. And normally there's like people going there, motors is like passing the street, cars passing the street. And if you are going there on Sundays, then there's no one.
Basically, Accra is crazy. Traffic-wise, you can't bike here. So on Sundays, the roads are so free. When you want to go somewhere, like we go to the beach on Sundays. If you go to the beach during weekdays, you can maybe be in the car for 2 hours. Yes. And we get there in 30 minutes. So that is why it's on Sunday.
Yes, so that's why it's on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it used to have the cafe there where people can come and, it's like sign up for the tour, ask some questions, have maybe a coffee or a snack. Like
Has that stopped now?
Yes, unfortunately, you have to close down. He will hopefully open it at the University of Ghana campus.
Nice, so, very nice.
And the bike tours are still going on every Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
So where can we find him?
Yeah, so if you just search on Instagram for Go City Cycle, and then you can just send a DM. I think his phone number is also there, so you can call.
Nice. I think it's a great experience. I'm keen to do it.
Yes, it is really nice. I've done it a couple of times now, and it's like what I really like about it. And you can just stop and take pictures. It's not like in a bus you have to ask, oh, please can we stop here, but you can just say, oh, sorry, can we stop here, and you stop for a minute and you go back on your bike. I really like that.
What's it like to live in Ghana as a Dutch person? I'm betting you get called Obroni every time.
Yes, I'm getting called Obroni all the time.
How do you feel when people say that?
Well, here in Accra, it's much less.
Oh, okay.
Yes, like it's like if I think about like where I used to live at places. Then it was like always like children running after me, or they see me in a car, they're gonna run after the car. And I'm kind of like in between what I think about it, like not like that they are doing, I mean they can do that, but I mean like how I should respond to it. Like some part of me says, okay, like don't respond to it because I am not a special person. You don't have to greet me all the time just because I'm passing by. On the other hand, I'm also like, I don't want to ignore it because I also don't want to give them the feeling that I don't see them, or they go home, oh, mommy, I saw a white person and she didn't even greet, or like I'm kind of like, but normally I respond if I have like the opportunity to have like a longer conversation. I try to ask like the children's names, If it's children's, by the way, sometimes it's also adults. Yes, everybody does it. Or I explain like, oh, you can also call me Auntie Jennifer or Sister Jennifer. And then people will call me Dad, you know, like especially in the area here.
So what's it like to be an exception? Like in Holland, you're one of the mass, and here you're a minority. How is that?
Well, it is different, obviously. Like you can tell I'm treated differently, but like
negative? Or?
No, like it's most of the time, like 99%, I think, in a good way. It's in positive ways. Like I travel a lot by public transport. Like when I go to work, for example, when I come back at Circle, like I don't work in Accra. I was looking for a job in Accra because I thought it was easier for a foreigner, and then I ended up working in Kokrobite, which is kind of funny.
So you take the trotro?
Yes, so I take the trotro. On Tuesdays morning, then I go there. I spend 2 nights in Kokrobite at my work, and then on Thursdays I come back. The first time I came there, I didn't know where my trotro to come to my area is. So I just asked a couple of people if they knew it, and there was like this man who said, "Oh, madame, please, like get your bag close to you, that just in case, you know, like." And it's very nice that people remind you on these things. And it's funny because by now I've been doing this job for almost a year now, so I've been there many times. I know with my eyes closed where my bus station is. And still people, they are sitting in the trotro and they are looking a couple of times at me, and then they're like, okay, they're gonna ask something. "Oh, madame, where are you going?" And then sometimes people bring me to the bus station, which is also funny because by now the mates or like the people who are shouting like, "We are going here," like already at the bus station, they already see me going. They don't even ask me, "Where are you going to?" Because also they know. And then they see me sometimes walking with somebody else. And
that's so nice. So they're very, very helpful.
Yes, it's very helpful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, like and interested in what you are doing here. I don't feel different or something, and but that's also what I try to like at my work. I'm the only no, that's not true. I'm not the only foreigner, but I'm the only white person, apart from somebody else who comes one day as well. But like in the team, and I really find that important to not end up with Dutch people only, you know, like. And really people make their own decisions, of course. And also for me, my goal is to stay here for a longer period. So if you only hang around with foreigners, most of the foreigners, they stay here maybe a year, 2 years, and then they go. So that also for my, you know, like I want to stay with people who also stay here for a longer time.
Nice.
Yes.
Because you also give language classes, right?
Yes.
That is Tree. And then what else is there?
Yeah, so I run Language Cafe Accra, which started as me. My Twi is very low. I know quite a lot of words, but I never practice because I don't feel confident. So I was like, okay, how can I find like a space where I can practice and where people know that I'm practicing, because now I try to practice, like I said, in the area here. Okay, they are used to it, but I try to do it at trotro station, taxi stations, and people find it funny that I'm even trying. So
I get the same. They even laugh at me, and then I feel like, oh, okay, I better stick to my English.
Yes. Or like they take over the conversation, asking, oh, where did you get this from? Oh, where are you from? What? Instead of me just letting me try, you know, like I'm like, I just want to try with you. Like let me practice. So the concept is that people who speak, in this case Twi, but we also do German, Spanish, French, and we will add Ga, Fanti, Dutch, and English. Like it's like by now, it didn't start like that, but by now I see, okay, there's like also people who want to do Ga, there's also people who want to do English. But it really started with Twi. We have like people who speak Twi, they are coming as volunteers, and then for example, I am there because I want to practice, and then the language cafe, like myself, I prepare something. But it's just meant for conversational materials. I don't know, like a sheet what says like Atison, how are you? Mahoye, I'm fine. And then, you know, but if there's like a couple of these basic things when people come for the first time. And then, but if you have other questions, then you can bring them as well, because we're not a language course. We don't really teach languages as well.
It's just about practicing.
Yes, it's like really like conversations, like actually what we are having now. But let's say if we come to the German class and I'm a German speaker and you come to learn German, and we will just have a conversation maybe about music or animals, and then the Twi level is a little bit lower. Most people come in and they know Akwaba and Ubruni, which is fine. But like the other languages is more like conversational. And I think it's very important to do a course as well, but really interacting with people people who already master the language because they are natives or they are fluent. So yes, that's what we do. Like the
Very
Tsui one
nice.
is every Friday in Osu.
Okay.
And everybody can just come. It's also like, I also wanted to have something, people can just feel free to come, you know, like, so you do a registration.
Low-key, yeah.
Yes, and maybe this week you want to come, and next week you are traveling, or you have something else.
It's an interaction of different people.
Yes, yes.
Who
and
otherwise wouldn't meet that necessarily.
Yeah, maybe, like, this is like also a very important part for me, that this should be like a space where everybody will meet, where you will meet everybody. So you will meet somebody like me, you will meet somebody who has like a high-paid CAO job, you will meet somebody who's a student, and they all meet there, and when we are there, we are all yourself, right? Somebody who has a higher paid job is not more than I am because I have a lower paid job. And that works very well. That works very well. And by now, we also organize language trips. So if you want to have like the combination of practicing a language, we did one now with Tsui, but we can do the same thing like with German or French, you know, like we can, it's just practicing the language and then exploring Ghana as well.
Okay, very nice. What is one thing you miss about the Netherlands and one thing you will bring to the Netherlands from Ghana?
One thing I miss about the Netherlands, I think, is that everything goes much easier there. Like even doing something like grocery shoppings or something, like if I really want to go to the supermarket, then I kind of have to plan that, you know, like I don't have my own transportation, so I have to take Uber or Trotro. But it's easy, I have to say, like Accra is an easy country, but it's also like a mentality thing, you know, like I know I have to get out all the way to the road, you know, like something is like, sometimes it can be very difficult for me to get myself out of the house. Knowing that people want to say hi, and you know, like even though I really like that interaction, but sometimes like Accra is a little overwhelming for me sometimes, because also from the Netherlands, I am not from a city. Like I am used to like rural areas, like you have a lot of space.
So basically you're a Dutch village girl.
Yes.
Then I think Accra,
like you like in the Netherlands, I easily grab my bike, I go to a friend, I go to the supermarket, I go to the bus, and I take the bus to the train station, and then the train to Amsterdam. Like and you know, like in the Netherlands, most of the time you can say, oh, if you meet a friend at Amsterdam Central Station, I will be there 11:03. Because like sometimes it's just delayed, but you can quite precisely
that you're
say
exactly
yes.
there.
And that's very convenient if you have like a lot to do each day, like on a day. But in Accra, you can go to the market and then have some lunch, and then that's it, maybe. And sometimes it works. Like sometimes you will be surprised that everything is going smoothly. But also just going out itself, like it's hot outside sometimes, it can be dusty. I don't know, sometimes I don't really feel like interacting because I'm very, very introvert. You wouldn't say, but I don't really like interacting with like strangers or something. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I know I have to take the Trotro, but I have to tell the mates where I'm going to. You have to interact. So sometimes when I'm not in a mood to interact, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do that? So then I can take Uber still, but if I just go to a provision store here and you just want to buy two things, you have to tell the shop assistant, I want to buy this thing. Instead of just taking it, putting it, or if you buy vegetables, you have to ask the price, and how much do I, because it changes all the time as well. And sometimes when I feel like, okay, now I'm really like, I just want to be with myself, but I also have to eat, then it's like, you know, like that's something, what I miss from the Netherlands, like just thinking, okay, I want to go to Amsterdam, let me just do it. Like it's 3 PM, I don't care, I can just go there and I know by this time I will be back. And it's not always that easy like that here. I think that's something I miss. But in terms of food or anything, everything is here. Like I have like people who I know, they are coming down here and they're asking me, what should we bring from the Netherlands? And most of the time I don't really know. The last time I asked if my mom could send them panties from Hema, from like the very Dutch store Hema, because I really like them. That's what I miss here, good panties.
Oh, that's funny. So what is like your long-term plan? Are you staying in Ghana or planning to move back? Or?
I hope I can stay here. Like right now, it depends on if I have a job. Like I have a residence permit because I have a job here. So as long as I can continue with a job, at some point I would really have the language cafe to be like a serious
your own business.
Yes, like with an official registration in Ghana as well, because for now we are just like a group of people coming together, but it starts to become like something more, and I would really love to have that like official. So then we can also do bigger things, like have like more collaborations also with bigger institutions, because I know like the concept is very appealing, like I already know that for other institutions, but also more like corporates as well, you know, like I have a big Facebook group, we can do some sponsoring, and you know, like it's very niche, because most of these people in this group are living in Accra. So if you are a restaurant in Accra, you can target the whole world, but not the whole world is in Accra. But if you know, like 90% of these people live in Accra, most likely they might come and visit your store or your restaurant or your or if you have like a hotel.
So would you like to collaborate with somebody to do the language cafe?
Well, what I would like to do is like start really like a team, because now it is me who does like the organizational things, like I deal with the registrations, I go for meetings with the venue owners, and then I work with the volunteers, so that's like the people who speak the language, and they do a lot of work for me, but I would like to have like somebody, and then I obviously want to pay that person well as well, so that's also why the official organization is important.
Nice.
But then also somebody who's in charge of the trips, or somebody who's in charge of grants and funds, you know? Like Language Cafe Accra as like an official organization. And then there's like a lot possible, because people really like it. Like people really like practicing, like doing something useful, and then also like meeting new people. That's like also a big part of it. Like people are now forming groups of friends. We are going to the beach. Especially the TWE group is very
strong.
Yes, because we meet every week. Like the other languages, it's not every week, and it's also not always at the same location. Also, always after meeting because it's on Fridays, so we stop around 8:30. Then we go out to have dinner together. You know, so it really starts to grow, to be a real social event. Like I know the first time when people come, they think, because I write like you have to bring your notebook. Maybe people think they have to make real notes, but it's like also. It's also about socializing and having like a nice, like networking almost. Like you may never know who you meet as well, and like networking is something that is really important in Ghana. It's all about who you know. So
nice. So basically, for Jennifer, you want to stay in Ghana. You like to expand Language Cafe.
Yes, and then my boyfriend and I, we want to build a tiny house on wheels, so which is like a very, we have a small apartment, but probably even smaller, I don't know. But we want to build one and then move it like outside of Accra, so maybe in the eastern region or the Volta region. If there's like a plot somebody wants to rent out, or we can buy it, and then have like different tiny houses, so people can come and stay with us like as a community kind of thing. So maybe if you're writing a business plan, or you're writing a book, or you have like a sabbatical, you want to think about what you want to do in your life.
So Holland won't see you anytime soon?
For visits, yes, for visits. Well, it all depends on how it is going. Like also like financially, like if it really doesn't go financially anymore, then I have to go back. But for now, like seeing like where the Language Cafe is going, I can see that it will come together, and then it will also have some more financial stability for myself as well. And also with my boyfriend, he wants to live here. So like I would really like to travel more in Africa.
Okay.
I've only been to Ghana, so I would really love that. But then come back to Ghana, because like Ghana is like has like everything, like the sun, it's like political stable, English speaking people, even though I speak TWE very well by now, of course.
You would? Next year.
maybe as time goes on. But I mean like Ghana is a very ideal country to start. To start, to have like your base. And
Jennifer, I wish you all the best in your endeavors, and I hope to visit your tiny house when it's finished.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll put all Jennifer's information down below. See you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.